All right, I have 3 examples here of how to solve and find explicit definitions of um, arithmetic sequences. We talked about in the other tutorial that arithmetic sequences are basically linear patterns. And so, and if they're linear patterns, that means we're going to find them using the equation of a line. And translating these different things, so in order to find the explicit or nth term being the equation, and knowing that a line can be mx plus b, or if you want like point slope form, m times x minus x1 plus y1. Okay, you can just translate into those 2 different values. Understanding that when you have a sequence is that we don't have y. Y is actually equal to a sub n. Our m, our slope, is not actually a slope. It's actually what we refer to as a common difference. And this right here, this b value, is a sub 0, our initial point at the origin, initial term at the origin. All right, and if we have a x sub 1 and y sub 1, basically that means just a point. So x sub 1, all right, y sub 1 means a term. All right, it's a term, all right, that we can use. So those are some things that we're going to pay attention when we're doing this. So if I'm given this right here, a sub 1 equals 100 and d equals negative 10 or negative 8, and I want to figure out what is the nth term. Well, this is not too bad. So I'm basically looking for an equation of a line. Negative 8 is my slope. I can plug in my point because I'm given a point. Because remember that we can translate this right here, just a point of 100. All right, this is my input. This is my output. So 100. And so I'm going to use point slope form because that's what I like the best. X is actually n. I should put it up there as well. All right, x is actually equal to n. All right, we have that. So we're going to have n. All right, minus our point. Well, I'm going to use 1, and then plus 100. And I'm going to simplify this. So we have negative 8n plus 8 plus 100 equals a sub n. And a sub n is going to equal negative 8n plus 108. And that is my nth term. That's it. It's an equation of a line. And that's an arithmetic sequence. Let's try another one. Well, right here, what we have are 2 terms, or basically 2 points. And, well, how do you find the equation of a line? Well, you need a slope and a point. That's why I always say slope and a point. Well, if we're given 2 terms, I'm not given the difference like in the previous example number 1. So in this one, I need to first find my difference, because you always need to find your slope first. Well, my difference, or my slope, if you recall, is y2, the difference in the y's. And the y's, in this case, are my outputs. So I'm going to take, in this case, y sub 1, or y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. All right, now in this case, we don't have these, so let's translate it. Whatever our y's are our outputs. So I'm going to take 15 minus 5 over my x's. My x's are my n values. So I'm going to take 4 minus 1. And I have 10 over 3, so we have 10 thirds. So from here, I'm going to find my equation. So I have a sub n equals 10 thirds. We have n, okay, that's what x is, minus, I'm going to think of a point now. I'm going to use this point right here. I'm going to use point slope form again. And we have 1, and we have plus 5. We're going to simplify this. And I'm running out of room, so I need to take this down. So simplify it, or you could leave it, but I'll just simplify it because that's what good math students do, right? We have that. And we need a common denominator. So we have negative 10 thirds, plus we have 15 thirds. Add those together, and it appears that we're going to have 10 thirds n. So n. And so we have 10 thirds over n, or times n. All right, and so we plus 5 thirds. And that is our a sub n. And that's our equation. So what do we do again? We figured out, because we said it was arithmetic. How do we know that? Because it told us in directions. This is arithmetic. It's arithmetic, which means linear. All right? We translated all the things. We know that y equals a sub n. We know that our slope is our difference. We know x equals n. our b value, if we wanted to, is our initial condition, and x sub 1 and y sub 1 are basically a term or a point on the graph. Okay, it's a point. So a point or term. And we figured it out. And there we go. So we found our slope first, which is our common difference, and then we went through to figure out the process. All right, well, let's go one more example. And what we have right here is a sub 3 equals 94, all right, and a sub 6 equals 85. Well, to figure this out, it appears that it's going down, because we're going for the third term and sixth term, and its values are decreasing. So it is arithmetic, so I'm going to find its slope first, or the common difference. All right, common difference, I'm going to take 85 minus 94 over 6 minus 3. When we have that, we're going to have 9. Negative 9, that is. Negative 9. And we have 3. All right, negative 9 and 3 is going to be negative 3. Okay, and that is our common difference, our slope. So from here, let's find out what our other values are. So I'm going to have a sub n equals negative 3. I'm going to have n minus, now I'm going to take a point. I'm going to use this point because it's the smaller of the two. So I'm going to take 3 is my n value, plus my y1, which is my output, which is right here, 94. And I have that. So I'm going to negative 3n. I have plus 9 plus 94 equals a sub n. When we simplify, we have negative 3n, and we have 103. Make sure this works out. Let's plug in, make sure we did it right. Plug in a 3, and when we plug in 3, whatever I have, that's how I always like to check it out. A sub 3, so negative 3 times 3, and plus 103. So we have negative 9 plus 103. And that should give us 94. And it does. Yay, we did it right. All right, and we just tested our work. All right, so that is how we get our nth term. Just like you did in Algebra 1, okay? Arithmetic sequences, I cannot stress this enough. Think of arithmetic sequences as linear sequences, okay? Lines, all right? Lines. We're using an equation of a line. Once again, the slope is our common difference, okay? The slope is the common difference, all right, we have right here, all right? Our y values are a sub n. Our x value is an n value. And this x sub 1, y sub 1 is a term or a point. So make the terms into points, and you can have a great time. All right, so that is explicit definition with arithmetic sequences. Went through 2 examples. Hopefully this helps you out on how to find those.